To start with, I would like to welcome you and your dear viewers. The escalated and situations in the West Bank and Gaza that affected negatively of the Palestinian economy. That 65% is relying on services, and the production sector is only 20%. Due to the military operations and aggression on Gaza, we signed an agreed shrinking of the gas as the industry sector affected of 35% that totally stopped and 30% back in the West Bank, and the agricultural services and the industry were affected and a full hold in the Gaza Strip due to the economic repercussions increase of unemployment and deterioration of the operation. All these matters that led to the deterioration of the Palestinian economy of more than 65% and its incapability to operate itself, and all this are closely linked of the Israeli operations made by the Israeli entity, whether in the Gaza Strip or Gaza, that exceeded day by day, and in the West Bank aren't
Yes, sir.
alone,
Sorry
isolated.
for interrupting you. We're going to move to the West Bank later. But now I would like to ask you, with unemployment reaching 80% in Gaza and significant destruction to key sectors like construction and trade, what economic strategies could be implemented to provide relief and rebuild the job market?
In principle, the military operation should come to an end in order to reoperate due to the aggression. And without this, the unemployment rate will increase in region, the dialogue, and move forward of the reconstruction of Gaza is at the beginning of a positive economic indicators.
Now, moving to the West Bank has seen a 23% economic contraction. How does the situation in Gaza and the West Bank differ economically, and what impact will this have on Palestinian economic unity and growth in the future?
It, they are very much close to each other, West Bank and Gaza, but Gaza is totally negatively impacted for the linkage of the West Bank that is linked directly to Israel, and the idea of resorted to the workers for the West Bank that led to the decrease of the workers, and the process of the Palestinian economy and construction were deteriorated to about 38%, and the agricultural was affected of 17%, and the industrial sector was affected by 30% in the Gaza Strip in itself. Its negative impact aren't isolated with each other, either in Gaza Strip or in the West Bank.
Now, sir, moving to Lebanon, which has suffered over $5.1 billion in economic losses, particularly in real estate and infrastructure, how can Lebanon address these losses amidst its ongoing financial crisis, and what role can international aid play?
Certainly, Lebanon has negatively affected in the military equation and the continued aggression by the Israeli army. And we've witnessed that such aggression affected Lebanon grossly, and the economic Lebanon hasn't reached the state of recovery, as suffering from crises of historical roots for a long time, and in the face of construction to the military operation to enter that caused the deterioration to the blank. Lebanon, without the international assistance, as we say that Lebanon is totally different from Gaza Strip and Gaza. Some part of the international parties wish to provide assistance for Lebanon alongside with the Arab support. All this would might help to overcome the negative impact of the crisis during the past months in order for Lebanon to reconstruct its economy once again.
Now let's analyze Israel's economy. Israel's budget deficit has surged to the highest level in 20 years, reaching 7.7% of GDP. How sustainable is this level of deficit in the long run, and what steps should Israel take to stabilize its economy?
The Israeli economy, we may say, is diversified, that largely relying on the productive sector and tourism, but negatively affected that lost much of its revenues that reached the numbers we've highlighted. But let's say that Israel is always relying on the Western North, the American support, and the idea of the normalizations imposed by the USA and the international community who are going to deal with Israel is the crossing gate of any productions. But the crisis led to a very gross economic loss that never seen in the history of Israel, either in the modern or the old history. Considering that Israel has crossed several of aggressions against the neighboring countries, with the expansion of the conflict with the neighboring countries that exceeded Gaza, reaching Lebanon and Syria and Iran and Yemen. All these matters and the expansion of its scale would ignite the tension and increasing the negative impact for the non-recovery case or phase, but from America and Europe countries won't be able for the Israeli economy to continue or in reaching the recovery in a speedy matter.